Hey folks, we're learning about respiration. Let's take a moment to just recap the contents of this typical animal cell here before we get going. So remember, when you're labeling an animal cell, it only has a cell membrane around the outside that controls what goes in and out. The filling of the cell, the red part on this diagram, is the cytoplasm, and that's where chemical reactions happen. The big blue blob is the nucleus that controls the cell activities and contains genetic information, and the star of today's show about respiration, the mitochondria, in my diagram here, are represented by these purple dots. Okay, so a good way of remembering the respiration equation is that it's the exact opposite of the photosynthesis equation. So the reactants here going into the cell, you've got glucose and oxygen. Glucose is the fuel. Oxygen is required to release the energy from that fuel, and the products of respiration are carbon dioxide and water. The whole point of respiration is to release energy for the cell activities. Okay, make sure you've absolutely nailed this equation and memorized it. Look on the left-hand side of the arrow, the reactants. Glucose reacts with oxygen. And on the right side of the arrow, the products are carbon dioxide and water. Now I've put energy on the right hand side in brackets because for a biologist that's the point of respiration, but we shouldn't really include that in words because it isn't made of anything, it isn't stuff. Energy is released. This is an exothermic reaction if you're in your chemistry revision. Okay, so it's a good thing to think if a cell needs energy, it's going to have more mitochondria because that's where this aerobic respiration process is taking place. So in the mitochondria, the glucose and oxygen combine, energy is released, and the CO2 and the H2O will have to be removed from the cell. So think of cells that need lots of energy, like muscles, like sperm. They require plenty of mitochondria, so they can do lots of respiration and release all the energy that they need to do their job.